begin with, we really are thankful for everything that America does for Ukraine, especially for this attitude of people who voted for, for different candidates for presidency, who voted for different parties, but they do support Ukraine in this fight. When I was 15 years old, I first came into this country as an exchange student. I lived in Maryland for a year. I studied in American school. I still call my host family mom and dad. I remembered the words of the anthem about the land of the free and about the bravery,
the home of the brave.
The home of the brave. Well,
Yes.
Ukraine is land of the free and home of the brave as well. But you cannot fight evil just with gravity.
Yeah.
You can't go there with bare hands. So it's better not to be sorry. It's better to be supportive and helpful for Ukrainians, because it's not about the war in Ukraine. Look at it as the fight of Western world with democracy, with these pillars on human rights, on rule of law, of freedom of speech, and absolute darkness that wants to gain power. And
Yes.
if Putin as a war criminal, and if Russia is a country terrorist, which it became thoroughly, they do not get a clear response from the all civilized world, that he will go further.
Yeah.
And we will lose everything that we built up after the Second World War II, because this whole, structured architecture of security, of human rights, it just breaks down when one autocrat wants to do how he sees this world. And guess what? In this world, he doesn't see Ukraine at all.
Yeah.
We've been fighting with Russians for like hundreds of years. We had conflicts. I mean, we had this famine. We had a lot of in history fightings. But this is the first time we have a state that has an army, that has a political leadership, that is not afraid to stand for our country. And so it's not about Ukraine, it's about the whole world. Why we are here in Washington, we're actually a small group of women parliamentarians, just 5 of us, and everyone can tell you a story. I mean, my 8-year-old daughter sleeps in the basement, and then next day she has to go to school online, because schools offline do not work, obviously, because hundreds of them are being bombed, ruined completely.
Yes.
People are fleeing. It's not about war between militaries. It's targeting civilians in purpose. That is clearly.
Let me ask you a few questions about this enemy that you're facing right now. One of the things that is one of the latest things that we've heard here in Washington today is that several people that are part of your delegation to try to engage in peace talks were poisoned. I'm wondering if you've heard about this and what that makes you think about.
Well, it's not our delegation here, so it's a delegation that is doing these peace negotiations for over a month. But as far as I know, we didn't have the official statement on that from Kiev. But you know what? Putin is capable of everything. And when President Biden said his very important words, I think it's very important that he said in Warsaw that United States will be with Ukraine till the end. But now we have to understand, what is the end? Is it the end tearing our country apart because Putin wants part of the country, because he thinks so that he can get this part of the country and no one can do anything in the world about it? Or is this the end in victory of Ukraine? I mean, let's be honest. How many days the intelligence services gave for Ukraine to stand? I mean, probably, 2 weeks at the most, and Kyiv will fall and Russians will go inside. Well, guess what? It's more than months. And we're actually counterattacking in different regions. Of course, Russians, they do have more military, more people. They do not care about their lives. They don't even take their dead bodies, by the way. but they have more tanks, more missiles, especially about missiles. They're so cowards that they can't, gain control on the whole of the country on the ground with their boots. So they just send missiles, these Iskanders, from the sea, thousands of kilometers, miles away, because they know they will be kicked, out of the ground if they try to pursue, further.
Yeah.
But we can't fight with bare hands. Let's face it. Russia does have more tanks and missiles and stuff like that. We have high morality of our army. We have queues to join the army. But these people who are joining the army should get something in their hands to fight.
Yeah. So how are those discussions going? Because I know a part of what you and your colleagues have been coming here for is to increase the discussions and increase, for lack of a better word, the pressure here in the U.S. and in other countries to help you get those things that you need. So how is that going?
We're just starting our visit, and we'll be having visits in Congress. We're having a meeting with Nancy Pelosi. Also, we have meetings in Senate, in Pentagon, in Department of State. So we have different levels of the meetings. So I would want to be really, really clear, because we've sent this special list. It's obviously the secret information, but Pentagon has it. And what we want to give a message. We can't get into the situation when it's going to be too late and too little, because every day, we're losing lives. So these air defense systems, we need them now. These air jets, we need them now. Because tomorrow we also will need tanks to regain our territory. Because when I see this, confusion was telling, well, we're not given escalatory weapons, or we're not given offensive weapons. Well, let's get it clear. We're not going to Russian territory. We have to regain what Russians came and occupied.
Yeah.
You know what? In 1st of April, in some of the southern regions of Ukraine, they are putting ruble zone. No, our currency, ruble zone. And they're saying in the schools, no more Ukrainian language. And when they say that Ukraine is somehow oppressing Russian-speaking people, well, guess what? Russia killed thousands of Russian-speaking people, literally, because all of these people in Kharkiv, in Mariupol, which are stuck there because Russians do not give the humanitarian corridors, they are all Russian-speaking. So this is such a hypocrisy, what they try to say to the whole world and what they do in real. So we need these weapons, and we need to defend the air, of course, because missiles, just come into every region. Just let me give you one detail. When President Biden was giving his speech in Warsaw, Putin was bombing Lviv. Lviv is a big city in Western Ukraine. I think it was the closest first in history that Russian missiles got to the place, which is so close to the American president. I mean, it's a couple hundred of miles. It's nothing. It's nothing in the lands how they come. This is a clear message that Putin is humiliating Western world.
Yeah.
And Western world has to respond.